Hello and welcome to Forgotten Temples. My name is Mr. B. Now then, I'm at temple number 10. I know, it's not much of a name, is it? But when it's surrounded by so many other temples and their original names lost to time, this is what happens. Now you may have noticed this strange camera angle here. I seem to be blocking the doorway. Now that, on this occasion, is completely deliberate. And there's a very good reason for it. Because through this doorway is something I have been looking for such a long time. It is absolutely epic. And I can't wait. There's a peek, but no more. Another peek. There you go. Through that doorway is something really, really grand we've never seen before on this channel. And it is my absolute pleasure to be able to introduce you. But first, let's do our due honors and do our quick 360 around. And then it's through that doorway where we'll meet something unique. So as you can see, he's in some lovely countryside. The land is now getting a lot drier because of course the rainy season has gone, and you can see my cheeky camera angle there doesn't give you much of a hint, does it? But let's have a quick walk around. I promise you it'll be quick because there's nothing really to see of any real note. We notice the walls are exceedingly bland. We don't have the flying palaces that we see in so many other of the temples here. So whilst we amble around, let me brief you. At Sambor Prayer Cook, there are three different compounds that have clusters of temples, and this is just one of them. In this cluster that I'm in at the moment, there are many temples, and look, if you look ahead just there, can you see in the center of your screen, there's another temple, and I'm about to shoot a quick video on that as well. And guess what? That's got a treat in as well. And as we come round the corner, there we go, there's the central piece. That's the main temple, you see. So that's the main temple. And then these other smaller temples around the edges. That rather unsightly green that they use for netting is because they're doing conservation work, which is wonderful. They've just got a big pile of money from foreign lands. So it's great, but I wish they'd buy a different colour netting because that green is just horrible. Okay, chaps, it's time for me to about turn and let's have a look at what's inside. So here is the big reveal. And I'm going to tease you just a little bit more. I go up the steps, I get both feet nicely planted, and then up I come. Here, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to Hari Hara. And who he is he's half Vishnu and half Shiva, which makes him jolly Indian, doesn't it, when we think about it? But this is absolutely remarkable because I've been to hundreds of temples and never seen a statue in its place. And this is the reason for the room. This is why it was built. And without them, all we get are the plinths here. And they're remarkable on their own. They have all this lovely detailing, and my goodness, how much work the ancients put in to create them. But they are really the stage, aren't they? And on that stage should be a god, a deity like this. And at long last, after hundreds of temples, we've found one. But with this discovery comes a little bit of a confession, because although he is perfectly paced for this complex I'm in, Sambor Prayer Cook has an awful lot of Shivas and Vishnus and references too, this statue wasn't actually meant for this particular temple. He has been relocated. And the reason we can say that quite safely is because these places were looted horrendously. And if that wasn't enough, the Khmer Rouge occupied these areas, and their habit was quite simply to lop their heads off and sell them. I mean, they were just absolutely mercenary with their tasks. But that doesn't take anything away from dear old Harry Harrer here, does it? I mean, allow me to just squeeze myself right into the corner and enjoy the moment. It's been a long old journey to stare into the face of a god, but that's exactly what we're doing. At long last, a god is in his temple and in his rightful place. So there you go. It's been an incredibly long journey for me. I've seen hundreds of temples and I literally have covered over 10,000 kilometers. And I've always wanted to enter one of these temples and stare into the face of a god, a deity. And at long last, I walked through that door and my heart leaped, because at long last I could look a gentleman in the face and I could say, mission accomplished. And I really honestly feel quite moved. It's late in the day, I'm exhausted, and I've been temple hunting far from home for many a long day in quite the heat. But it's been a huge success. Temple number 10 may not have a grand name, nor a grand exterior, but inside there's an absolute treasure, a gem that should be held and should be cherished. This has been Mr. B of Forgotten Temples Cambodia. Please like, subscribe, and do comment. I do love hearing from you. So until next time, I wish you nothing but the very best.